Okay, so welcome to my channel. Um, my name is Andrea. I will be just trying a few things and trying to create a peaceful environment for you. This is my first ASMR video, and I just want to see if I'm able to make a peaceful video and environment for people who are looking for one. I have here some candles, 2 tea lights, and one candle that I really love the scent. It's called Black Cherry, and this is just a little tin that I've had for a while. I'm not sure where I got it. I've had it for a long time. And inside it has some colored tea lights, and it's funny because it's August and I have this snowflake here, but it really does create a peaceful and calm environment. It helps to relax the spirit and the mind. I'm going to share with you a book that I have had for a little while. I'm just going to read maybe a chapter from this book. It's called What Happy People Know by Dan Baker, and there's a chapter in it that I would like to share with you and hope that it will help you unwind and have a good evening. So I'm going to put you back down here, and I'm going to open up the book and get started. Before I begin reading, I really love the sound of pencil on paper, so I'm just going to do some writing here. It's always a good idea at the end of the day to just jot down a few notes and things. Journals are a great idea, but sometimes they can be a little overwhelming. But you don't even really need to fully journal to get the advantages of a journal. You could just take a few moments to write down some ideas that you maybe came across throughout the day. Maybe ideas about what you want to do, a hobby you want to try, something beautiful you saw. And it doesn't have to be long, but it could be beneficial for you in the long run to just kind of have those things written down, because we often think that we're going to remember the good ideas that we have in this life throughout the day, but we don't realize how often those ideas escape us. So I'm going to take a minute here to write down a few things. I'm going to begin the chapter that I have selected for you. It is called The Antidote to Fear, and it is on page 79 if you are wanting to find it later on. Chapter 4. It says, I saw a happy man today, someone who was vibrant with life. He was on television, and he was so luminous with vitality that he seemed to leap right off the screen. He said that he had the greatest job in the world, and just looking at him, you couldn't possibly doubt it. He was a firefighter, one who had just come off duty, and his helmet was still ashen and grimy, but he wore it like a crown. We love what we do, he was enthusing to a reporter, plainly proud and rightfully so. We're the guys who are running in while everybody else is running out. I was struck by that expression and by the joy he reflected when he said it. It's a perfect metaphor for the kind of people we all need to be. If we're ever going to be truly happy, we need to be willing to charge ahead, headlong, into the inferno of our most horrific fears. Eyes open, intellect and spirit at the ready, even as our survival instincts are screaming, run, run, get out. That takes courage, and that's why courage is one of the prerequisites for happiness. Courage, they say, is not the lack of fear, but the ability to take action in spite of it. But where does the ability come from? What power grants the strength to overcome the sick, shaky feeling of fear? Only one power is that strong, love. In the ultimate analysis, human beings have only two essential primal feelings, fear and love. Fear impels us to survive, and love enables us to thrive. These complementary pair of feelings have been driving force of human history. Fear is the product of reptilian brain, hardwired into every fiber of our being, and love is the product of the neocortical higher brain, where spirit and intellect reside. Thus the dance of the spirit and reptile, the shifting balance between the neocortex and the reptilian brain, is the dance of love and fear. For you to be happy, love must lead this dance. Love, though for all we talk about it, is still an amorphous term with many meanings, some quite contradictory. Some people, for example, equate love with a feeling of longing, while others see it as satisfaction. Love can mean romantic love, or, quite differently, the love of a parent for a child. For that matter, the love of a parent for a child varies greatly from the love of a child for a parent. Children need and parents need to be needed, and yet both call it love. In the struggle for happiness, however, there is only one special quality of love that really matters. That element of love is appreciation. Appreciation is the highest, purest form of love. It is the type of love that can blossom even when it is not returned. It is the outward-bound, self-renewing form of love that has no dependence upon romantic attachment or family ties. People who truly appreciate feel the same about the object of their appreciation, whether it is present or absent. They appreciate it even if it is, by objective standards, not worthy of their appreciation. Appreciation asks for nothing and gives everything. When you enter into the active condition of appreciation, whether over something as common as a sunset or as profound as the love in your child's eyes, your normal world stops and a state of grace begins. Time can stand still or rush like a waterfall. Your senses can be heightened or obliterated. Creativity flows, heart rate slows, brain waves soften into rolling ripples, and an exquisite calm decades over your entire being. During active appreciation, your brain, heart, and endocrine system work in synchrony to heal in harmony. Most important of all, during active appreciation, the threatening messages from your amygdala and the anxious instincts of your brainstem are cut off, suddenly and surely, from access to your brain's neocortex, where they can fester, replicate themselves, and turn your stream of thoughts into a cold river of dread. It is a fact of neurology that the brain cannot be in a state of appreciation and a state of fear at the same time. The two states may alternate, but are mutually exclusive. A somewhat similar neurological phenomenon also helps protect you from physical pain. When you bruise yourself, you instinctively rub the fresh injury to help stop the pain. It works because touch signals the travel to the brain almost 10 times faster than pain signals, and the brain can only process one set of signals at a time. By the same token, when you create a state of appreciation through the activation of the intellect and spirit, you are free from fear during that time. Thus, appreciation is the antidote to fear. Because fear is the greatest enemy of happiness, appreciation is the most important of the 6 major happiness tools. It is the source that gives power to the other tools. Appreciation is surely the wellspring of the courage that enables firefighters to run into the burning buildings while everyone else is running out. What could possibly empower them to do it again and again? Not glory, certainly not money, not even obligation. There's only one thing that could realistically account for it. In their hearts, there must certainly be a deep appreciation for life in general, and for other people in particular. This love, as much as their physical bravery, is the reason we regard them as heroes. It was appreciation that enabled my father to do an equally dangerous job during World War II. Dad had an extraordinary love of life and appreciation for people, and it gave him the peace of mind and optimism he needed to be able to defuse bombs. During the London Blitz, he straddled 500-pound bombs that had landed but not exploded and delicately disarmed them. Not a job for a fearful person. He had that ability that always comes with a deep appreciation for life, the ability to see the world as a good place. even when he was sitting on the top of a bomb. He once told me that he was even grateful for the bomb's immense power. If I made a mistake, I'd never know it. That was his trump card against the horror of war, his own little joke, and he genuinely thought it was funny. It's kind of funny. To others, it would have been horrifying. After the war, he kept his fearlessness about death. He sometimes said to me, when the subject came up, either you go to heaven or nothing happens at all, and how can you be scared of nothing? But people who don't love life are often afraid of nothingness, partly because it has already begun to pervade their lives. Dad never ducked a mission, no matter how dangerous, mostly because of his love and appreciation for the other guys in his outfit. Military units have always been based on small, tightly bonded groups, the size of platoons, because leaders have always been known that the strongest motivating force in the world is love of the appreciation of the people around you. That's love of the people around you. It is the only force powerful enough to make people run out of trenches into gunfire or fall onto the live hand grenades. I am sure you've experienced the same willingness to sacrifice for someone you deeply love. There may be no concept or ideal in existence that you would be brave enough to die for. But if you had to leap in front of a truck to save someone, save one of your kids, you probably do it in a heartbeat and be grateful that you were there to help. Only love is stronger than fear. My father's fearlessness didn't fade even after he had a disabling stroke and was forced to live in the shadow of death. The stroke left him unable to participate in the one activity he loved most, fishing. Fishing for walleye in Lake Erie. And I was afraid this might drain away his love for life, and with it, his deep reservoir of courage. But without missing a beat, he began to fish for bass in the small pond of rural Ohio. And he grew to love that with a level of passion most people never experienced. My dad is much on my mind today because he died recently. I hate that he's dead. I'd give every penny I have to see him one more time, just to say goodbye. But I have so much to appreciate too. I love it that I had a dad who stomped this earth like a bull elk for 77 years, happy and unafraid in his element. I'm fantastically lucky to have had a father who filled his life with meaning. The fulfillment that he showed me is possible. The path of fearless contentment that he walked is my inheritance. It is worth a fortune to me. It's everything. Of course, if I let myself, I could die a little bit inside from this instead of finding a way to live even more. But why? The firefighter I saw on TV could have been diminished by his ordeal rather than revitalized by it. Some people look into the face of death and spend the rest of their lives running, but not him. Courage is always inspiring, but he was made more powerful by the unutterable grief that surrounded him. He was standing in the ruins of the World Trade Center. Since the tragedy of September 11th, more people than ever have been visiting me and calling me. Most of them are former guests of the ranch who live in Manhattan or have family there, and their pain is stark. They have so much to mourn. But my father and this firefighter, brave men both, tell us, one with his proud voice and one with his living spirit, that there is always more, even in the deepest grief, to love more than to fear. And so we continue using love to find courage, and courage to find love, with tragedy certain in our mortal lives, and happiness as possible as ever. Thank you for listening to this first video of mine. I'm hoping to make more and to bring you lots of peace and comfort.